Hello Flosstube, my name is Ria and this is my very first Flosstube video. Welcome to my family room where I'm currently sitting on the floor, and I'll explain a bit more why I'm sitting on the floor in my family room. And first I'd like to introduce a bit about me. As I said before, my name is Ria. We currently live in Southern Ontario in a small town. I have 3 adult children. Laura, the oldest, has just turned 28, and she's currently living in Glasgow, Scotland, where she's finishing up her PhD in planetary sciences, and she is going to be moving to England in late November, early December. She's not 100% sure exactly when yet, because shortly after Christmas and the New Year, she will be beginning a 3-year postdoc placement with a facility. Research facility. So she's really excited and looking forward to it. And she's going to be ending up living just, south of Oxford, west of London. It's quite exciting for her. Child number 2 is Amanda, and she is currently 25 years old, living in Toronto, working on her master's at the U of T. She started, today is her first day back to school for her final year in museum studies and archives. And I keep joking with her, she needs to get a job at the ROM so she can get me, which is the Royal Ontario Museum in Toronto, so she can get me in for free and take me in behind the scenes at all the little secret rooms where they do all the preservation and research, etc. And she's just, yeah, Mom, we'll see. But yeah, we're a museum geeky family. That was what we raised our kids with, and it's kind of neat that Amanda decided to do museum studies and archives, and she's absolutely loving it. Our 3rd child is the only boy, our baby boy, Daniel. He's 23, so not so much a baby, and he's taller than me now. And he's currently living in Kingston, Ontario, where he's at the Queen's University, studying his master's degree. He just starting this week as well, his first year of his master's program in mechatronic engineering. I've been married to my husband Dave for 31 years. We were high school sweethearts, and cross stitch has been a bit of a passion of mine, and I've always been a crafter on and off throughout the kids growing up. As I said, 3 kids, and they were very busy, very active, so there wasn't always a lot of time for crafting. But growing up, my mom was a master knitter. She always had something on her needles. She did a bit of cross stitch on and off, but knitting was her thing. I have a sister who also knits and crochets. I've done a little bit of knitting, but I'm not that, I'd have to sit down with a video and learn how to cast on, and I can't knit blindly like my mom could and my sister can, where they just sit. My mom would fall asleep knitting. That's how she could just go with her knitting. She was very good at that. She passed away in 2017, and so crafting was always something that was being done around me. And my mom tried, sewing, dabbling with sewing. She had me do some embroidery, where you would buy the iron-on transfers and put on like pillowcases. Trying that. I fell in love with cross stitch early on, and I remember buying my very first kit. I was in first year college, and I was boarding with a lady, so I bought this kit. I can't remember where I bought it. This was the days, it was 1987 that I bought this kit, so it probably would have been Woolco, which is now Walmart here in Canada. Towers, Woolco, I don't remember, one of those department stores. And I stitched in my room when I needed a break from studying or I had no homework. And I would do some stitching, and I finished that and framed it, and I have it right here. I still have it after all these years. It was this teddy bear, and of course it's Ada with back stitch, etc. So that's something I really enjoyed. I put this down. I did other crafts. When my kids were really small, I was really huge into paper crafting, so scrapbooks, card making. Let me get a drink of water. But needlework and cross stitch was always calling to me, but I could never find the time to sit down and finish a piece. Scrapbooking, I could throw a page together and be done in a night. Make some cards for Christmas. So it was a little more at that phase of my life, more feasible. But it didn't stop me from trying to get some cross stitch in. We would go to what was the Creative Needlework Festival in Toronto. There was a spring one and a fall one. I don't even know if it's still running since the pandemic. This was years ago, and me and a couple girlfriends, we would go to the fall one and to the spring one, and we would just hit every booth, do all the make and takes you could do, play around with the different sewing machines. We'd go to the Janome booth and see what make and take they had, and the Elle in the booth, what make and take they have. They had scrapbooking make and takes, and then sometimes there was needlework shops, yarn shops. And I would pick up bits and pieces here and there from the needlework shops that sold cross-stitch products at this needlework festival in Toronto, Mississauga specifically, twice a year. And I have a bin somewhere in my house with some of those items that I picked up that I never really quite got to. Best intentions, but life, 3 kids. It was very busy with my 3 kids. I was a stay-at-home mom, but I had 3 kids that were very busy. And then 2 out of the 3 decided to do a specialized program for high school. I gotta get comfortable here, sorry. You're gonna find that I don't sit still very well. And so there was a lot of carpooling because they went to a high school outside of our catchment area, so to speak, which would have given us transportation. But I started up back again in full force. I'm trying to remember. I think it was before my mom passed. My mom passed in 2017. I think it was around that time. We were having renovations. It was a very stressful time because my mom was dying of cancer. She was in and out of the hospital. More times she was in the hospital than not. And I live 10 minutes from Mary Maxim. So if you don't know Mary Maxim, just look it up. It's started out decades ago selling yarn for crochet and knitting. And it was a very stressful period. We were having renovations. This house has been gutted from top to bottom. And this was one of the major renovations. I think it had to do with the upstairs because I remember there was a mattress in what is the dining room behind me as I sat at the kitchen table with this kit that I had picked up at Mary Maxim. They used to have a lot of dimension kits at Mary Maxim, but over the years they've kind of really scaled back since then. It's kind of frustrating, but it's kind of nice if I need something DMC. I've had a few times where I've run out of a specific DMC thread and I can just zip out 10 minutes, get some DMC thread for whatever it is that I'm doing, and zip home again. And so I really like that, being close to Mary Maxim for that. I'm just kind of disappointed that they've scaled back on their cross-stitching products, but there are so many. I can see why, from a business standpoint, why they have done that, because there's a lot of online retailers such as 123 Stitch, Evertotes, as that's one of my major online purchases of cross-stitching that's been happening lately for me. And so yeah, and you're gonna find that I ramble too, lose my train of thought. That's just who I am. So I got back into it, that first kit, and started finding Flosstube channels on YouTube. And as we all know, Flosstube is, at least for me, the ultimate enabler. And thus began. And then I found Stitch It Central. And yes, my mom was still alive because I had discovered Stitch It Central, and this is when they were still in Ingersoll, Ontario. And my mom was in the hospital in London, Ontario at the time. And so I remember driving and doing a detour. I can't remember if it was fall or early spring. I just remember it was cold and the trees were on the leaves, but it was a night. The leaves were off the trees and it was a nice sunny day. And I went to Stitches Central and found a Blackbird design and picked up that and fully kitted it and brought it home and put it next to my Dimensions kit that I had started earlier. And thus began that. And then I discovered Caroline with Off the Grid Needle Arts and watched her YouTube. Pam and Steph just keep stitching. I mean, they're probably one of the older ones in terms of how long they've been doing YouTube. And kind of fell down a rabbit hole, discovered 1, 2, 3 stitch, traditional stitches, among other things, and discovering new different designers. And next thing I know, my stash has grown exponentially over the last number of years. And this brings me to why I'm making the first Flosstube. I toyed with the idea of doing a Flosstube for a while. Just never really bit the bullet, hummed and hawed about it, thought about it. It just never happened. I never had the guts. But sometimes life kind of throws things at us. And we're moving. You'll notice my Flosstube handle is the Blue Coast Stitcher. I currently do not live in the Blue Coast area yet. It was one of those things where we had toyed with the idea of moving because, excuse me, our children have flown the coop, so to speak. We're empty nesters pretty much. And we were looking for someplace new to move, you know, toying with the idea. Trying to find the right place, right house in the right area. And we were looking in the Blue Coast area, which is Sarnia, Lambton County. Excuse me. And we have a realtor down there, and we looked at some houses, but nothing really felt right. It was too expensive, and with the way interest rates in our age, we didn't really want to take on a big mortgage at this stage of our lives. We're business owners. We own a software company for manufacturers in the mining industry, and I'm a holistic nutritionist specializing in women, helping women through the perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause stages of life. And so we both work from home, so it's not necessarily we have to be tied to this area. And so we looked at some houses, but nothing felt right. We're in our 50s. We don't want to take on a big mortgage, especially with the way interest rates are at this time, with everything going on with inflation post-pandemic. And end of July, our realtor surprised us and showed us this house that we fell in love with. It's across the road from a public beach, so we have beach access. And let's just say things accelerated quite quickly. We looked at the house, put in an offer. Offer was accepted, condition of we sell this house. So we spoke with our realtor here, and in 3 days, we had 21 years of life, 3 kids who all came home for the pandemic, emptied their apartments and came home for the pandemic. But when they all dispersed, they didn't take everything they brought home back home with them. So Laura couldn't take her bed from here to Scotland, that type of thing. You do not want to see my garage or my furnace room. So we sold our house and we are moving. I am attending Jacob Palooza weekend number 2, which is the weekend after Labor Day. Do not ask me the dates at this time. I do not know what it is. And we close on the new house. So Jacob Palooza ends the Sunday and we close on the new house that Friday, the end of that week. So I'm the glutton for punishment. So we are in the midst of packing, which brings me to this Flosstube. you can't see it here. I have a big leather ottoman here. That's why I'm sitting on the floor, that stores a lot of kitted and WIPS, like kitted projects and WIPS that I have on the go, and plus some other odds and ends. And you're gonna join me as I pack up what's in my little ottoman, my trunk of all my WIPS and kitted, not started yet projects. So we'll see what we have. I'm going to show you my oldest WIP, and it's not cross stitch, it's crewel. Let's see if I can get this all in. This I started, we were engaged. I started in 91. It was a kit, a dimensions kit. Again, probably from Woolco, because I lived across the street from Woolco at the time. I was living in London, Ontario, and in the Oak Ridge area, and there was a Woolco. Now I don't know if the Walmart, it turned Walmart, I don't remember. Anyways, it was one of those things I picked up. And then of course, we got closer to the wedding, we got married in 92, and then it got forgotten. And we moved a few times. I have found it, I have found the pattern, but I don't know where the threads are. I would like to finish it. I am very close, as you can see. I have back stitching and this circle border I have to stitch, and French knots in these flowers. I'm new at this. Be patient with me. Bear with me. I'm hoping with the move, I think the threads are with some of the cross stitch patterns that I bought at the Creative Needlework Festival years ago. So anyways, let's dig in to my trunk. There's gonna be some zipper opening. I have a project bag obsession, I will admit. Evertote is one of my favorites. This one is also, which I love, is Little Boat 88. And this is a kit that I have not started yet, but I've kitted. Tiny Modernist, which I absolutely love, the Stitch Goddess. And I have fabric, which is probably Roxy. At the time it was Leo and Roxy. Yes, it is. It's 28 count blank slate Aida with, it's in plastic bags. I'm not going to show you the called for DMC. That is that. I have not started it yet, but it's my to-do. I just love the colors. And you can see the blank slate's pretty damn close to what Tiny Modernist uses. All right. Let's see. Hopefully I won't take too long and bore you. A couple boxes here. 2 boxes. Now that I'm looking at things, I don't think it's all going to fit. Next up is another Little Boat 88. I love poppies. I have poppies growing in my garden, which is something I'm going to miss. That's the thing with vinyl. I should know better. Modern folk embroidery. So, hence me going to Jacobpalooza in October. So this is his Winter Stars, a seasonal celebration. And it's kitted. Haven't started it yet. Again, Evertote. What is the fabric? I don't know. I don't know what my fabric is. Oh, I feel paper. Give me 1 second here. It is 32 count linen snickerdoodle by Roxy Flosstube. And it's going to be in Falu Red. Roxy Flosstube. So the reason I'm going to Jacobpalooza is you're gonna find I like Jacob's patterns, his work, and it's just stunning, some of the stuff he has. I've got a few projects of his on the go, and I'm really excited because with Jacobpalooza there is a Frisian sampler that I signed up for the big ass one. That is what I do. I am Frisian. I'm first generation Canadian, and my parents were immigrants from the Netherlands, and my mom is born and raised Frisian. My dad was born and raised in Groningen. And if you're part of the Jacob Palooza group, you will see we've received our itinerary. And one of the talks that Jacob is going to do is for Frisian and Gronings samplers, which I'm really excited to, because that is my heritage. And the ironic thing is, my dad used to say, you know, it was all in good jest, tease my mom that Groningen was better than Friesland. And my mom's like, no, Fries, you know, Friesland is a very unique province. They have their own language. They're descended from the Iron Age Frisian tribes. And so I did some genealogy, and it turns out my dad is pretty darn Frisian. He was born in Groningen, raised in Groningen, but his grandparents, so that's my dad's paternal side, originated in Friesland, along the coast of the North Sea. My mom, her area, her town, her family, they trace the genealogy to the early 1500s of this town that was more in the middle of Friesland, so to speak. So I'm very Frisian with some Gronings mixed in, so I'm really excited for Jacob Palooza. Long story short. Next one is another modern folk embroidery. Again, Little Boat 88, Christmas. Red Berries, a Christmas greeting. Again, I have not started it. This is 32 count Belfast Country Mocha. And of course, the threads are Evertote. I'm really excited. Again, I have not started it. I am really good at accumulating, and that is one of the reasons why I hesitated starting a Flosstube, because I'm a very slow starter. I'm a very slow stitcher. And life gets busy with my business and life and 3 kids, and yeah. And I know people like to count their stitches, like I did 200 stitches today or whatever. I just want to sit and stitch and enjoy myself. And I'm not always able to stitch every day as much as I would like to. With the move, I really want to focus on sitting down as much as I can to get some stitching, because as everybody knows, moving is stressful. We've lived here for 21 years. We got a lot of stuff. And it's going to be stressful, but it's going to be so worth it, and I'm excited. So, next one, modern folk embroidery. Again, did I tell you I like Jacob stuff? And this is the Moonshine Cabin. And Night Owl, 28 count linen, with the called for threads from Roxy Floss Co. And of course, my project bag is Evertote. I love Caroline's bags. They're just amazing. Oh, and this one comes with cat fur. Athena is a long-haired cat, so she tends to shed. Little Boat 88. Again, this is something I saw not last year, 2022 Stitch North. Tiny Modernist Moon Phase Bell Pull. Had to have it. And of course I kitted it up with 32 count chalkboard black linen. I've got more than enough, and the called for DMC threads. And I'm hoping once we're moved and settled that I can get some serious stitching time in and get a lot of starts. Excuse me. They're saying we're supposed to get a really snowy winter, and I'm saying bring it. We're going to be living along the lake, and sometimes the lake effect snow can really give you a lot of snow, and I'm hoping to be cozy in my new house and stitching in between other things such as work and clients. As I said, I fell in love with Blackbird Designs when I visited Stitch at Central way back when they were in Ingersoll. They're now in London. And I picked this up also at Stitch North, at Blackbird Designs. Humming of the Bees. I love that little red house. Called for DMC threads and classic colorworks. And I'm pretty sure this is a Leo or Roxy. Nope, it's not. It's again, Vintage Country Mocha Belfast. 32 count. I am a 32 count stitcher, 2/2. I am considering stretching my stitching muscles and trying a higher count. 36, possibly 40. We'll see. All right. Excuse the bag. This one is Blackberry Rabbit, the Honeymakers. Stunning. Excuse the bag, I'm sorry. I know some people don't like the sounds of rustling. I have no idea what this is, what brand of linen. It's probably 32 count. And my guess is the young Roxy Flosco. It is DMC with Krynic, yeah, and Treasure Braid for the bees. So that is ready to go. And again, Evertote bag. What's next? Oh, this one. Another one I've fallen in love with. I love reproduction samplers. Forget who put me onto them, but Hands Across the Sea. I think it was probably some other Flosstubers. Excuse me while I shift again. You'll see I do not sit still. That is just my nature. And this one is Eliza Martha Linfoot. I love how with these samplers, she gives a brief history, if she can, of the girl that stitched this back, and this is 1834. And I just love how she presents these samplers and just the history. I am a history geek. Anything history gets me excited. My husband and my daughter Amanda, who is studying museum studies and archives, we watched every single episode of Time Team, the original, and then now there's a new one, Archaeology in England. It just gets us so excited. So anyways, this gets me excited. Again, Eliza Martha Linfoot. I probably have no idea what this is. I don't know. I did start using the called for DMC, and it is 32 count because that is what I do again. And there's my start. It was through Traditional Stitches Stitch Along, and there was a needle minder that came with it. So I probably have it written down somewhere. Just don't ask me right now because I don't want to bore you with me looking for the and Evertote bag. All right. Oh, look. So this is not Little Boat 88. Oh God, I can't remember who the vendor. She was at the Stitch North 2022, and she had awesome project bags, and it's completely and utterly slipped my mind the name of the vendor, the woman. She was really sweet. I really liked her. This is Stitch Along 2020. So I discovered Jacob after during 2020, during the pandemic when everybody was home. It's called a Family Patchwork Sampler. And I'm using Roxy in Floss in Hussy. And this looks like an Ada. Nope, it's not. Oh yeah, it is. It's an Ada. 16 count Roxy Flosco Ada in Fawn. Let me bring up the Hussy again. excuse the glare. There's a window here. I'm trying to... So anyways, unfortunately the camera, I always find, this is my cell phone, doesn't pick up the colors properly. And there's a bit of a shadowing from the windows. If I sit somewhere else, I noticed I had shadow in my face and I was sitting in the dark. Anyways, so that is a kitted project. Like I said, I have enough to keep me busy for a while. All right, one box is pretty much full. Okay, oh, this one. Rosewood Manor. This is Little Boat 88. I love llamas. And this is, let me take the price tag off. I got it in a clearance. I think I got it on sale at Stitch It Central years ago. And I just kitted it. Anyways. Dreaming of Daisies. It's Weeks Dye Works. Oh, it's a mess. Called for Weeks. And the thread is Weeks Dye Works 30 count parchment. And that was, yeah, that was one of my Stitch Essential. Yeah, I picked it up years ago. I was visiting when they just moved to London, and this was in their sale bin. And it's just like, that was my first time discovering them. Oh, is this ever cute? This is a really big. I love bees and I hate wasps, especially this time of year. They're a bunch of jerks. That's another thing with the move. I've created a beautiful pollinator garden, and yeah, I'm sad to leave it because I've actually got it mature enough that I attracted so many pollinators this year. Bumblebees, honeybees, different kinds of butterflies, etc. But start afresh. But look, it's Modern Folk Embroidery, Fruits of Plenty, which I've seen a lot of people do. And of course, it's Roxy Floss Co. Floss in Just Navy, and I'm Dutch. Hello, Delft. This, how Carrie did this is just beautiful. The Delft blue. I've got a few projects, I think, and so these are the two blues that I'm going to be using. And my guess is this is a Roxy. Nope, it's not. Again, 32 count vintage country mocha. I am consistent in some things. And I bought the PDF off of Jacob. So my foot's falling asleep. I'm too old for sitting on the floor. I gotta start another box, excuse me. Nope, this is a Dimensions kit that I picked up from Mary Maxim, like I said, 10 minutes away. And this is Little Boat 88. And Mary Maxim is in Paris, Ontario. So of course, it's in an Eiffel Tower, Notre Dame. And I've been to Paris and I absolutely loved it. This is a Dimensions kit. So it's just what's in the kit. Here, I'll just show you this. It is Hummingbird and Poppies. And it's on Ada, of course. I'm not too fond. And I have a really awesome start. Look how small that is. Oh, I left the needle in there. That's probably not the best thing to do, but anyways, that's the back. There's the front, excuse the wrinkles. Again, using the kit Ada, sorry, and the kit Floss. And there's my start. Some projects I start in the center, and some I start, oh yeah, and this is one of Little Boat's little thread keeps, which I haven't started using yet because I only used one thread. Oops. Oh, this is from Evertote. I love this one, the Babushka dolls. I love the Babushka dolls. So, what is in here? It's probably, it is. Can you guess what's in here? What? Which designer is in my Evertote, Evertote bag? Oh my goodness, wouldn't you know it? Jacob again. Dark crosses. All are equal in depth. I just love it. This is 32 count I can't say it, Lugana in charcoal. I'm not gonna take it out of the bag. And I'm gonna be using Roxy Floss Co. Antique Wedding Dress. And I am excited to start that. So our move-in date is right after Jacobpalooza, leading up to Halloween. So maybe it can be my new house, new start for Halloween. What's this one? I don't remember who made this project bag, but it's so cute. It's another Rosewood Manor. Dreaming of Mums. Hopefully it's okay with the glare. Again, this is kitted. Stitches Central. Cream. Belfast. 32 count in cream. With, I believe it's the DMC called fors that are in here. My foot's really falling asleep. Oh, no. WIPS Dyes works. All right, so let's put that away. It's amazing how much I can fit in an ottoman. My husband has no idea. Oh, another Dimensions kit from Mary Maxim. Little boat, puppies, fall fairy. I have not started it, and I'm pretty sure it is, yeah, called for linen. What came in the kit? The kit, linen, and floss. So basically it has some gold thread, and it's fall fairy. I love fairies. All right, we're getting there. Oh, look, want to make a bet? Let's see what's in it. Oh, this is not. Oh, so as I mentioned, I know what this is. My mom was a master knitter. She did dabble in cross stitch. She has a few pieces. I have another piece that I should show you after I show this. So from 2012 to her death in 2017, there was a lot of upheaval with her. She had dementia, she had cancer, she had peripheral vascular disease, etc. And I had to pack up her apartment in 2012 or 2013, sorry, 2013. I had to pack up her apartment because the doctor said she couldn't go in and home back on her own. She needed assisted living for the rest of her life. And it was just a long story. And I found some of her projects. And this is one she had started. Was it 2012? She had the surgery that really went sideways. And then, so she probably started this the last time she went to visit family in the Netherlands, in Friesland. And her sister, her oldest sister, probably that's where I get it from, was really into cross stitch. And so my mom had a few projects. She did one, she got 3/4 of the way done. It's somewhere, I can't find it, I'll show it to you. I just might frame it because I have no idea where the pattern is. But this one she had started and I found it. I kept it aside hoping she would want to work on it again, but she didn't. She tried knitting, but it just wasn't the same. I really felt bad because there was a nurse, and one of the times that she was in the hospital, there was a nurse that was having a baby, and she loved knitting the baby sweater bonnet with little slippers. She did that for each of our kids and stuffed animals, and she wanted to knit for this nurse. That was one of her nurses on the ward she was in. And she knitted it too small. It was the size of a doll, and she never made those mistakes ever. And that was for dementia talking. So this was the pattern I found. It's a Lidarte, which is from Europe. And it doesn't have a name. It just says embroidery kit. Comes with DMC. DMC's European, I think. Made in Holland. Anyways, she started this. I found it, and so after she passed, I decided to pick it up and start it. Unfortunately, looking back, she was in the early stages of dementia, and I had to unpick some of her stuff. And I started filling it in. So she only had a tiny bit done, and then I picked it up and started it up again. I had to unpick some of her things because she miscounted, and I believe it was the dementia, and she had glaucoma too, so maybe she wasn't seeing, even though she had a magnifier, I don't know. But now looking back, we realized she had dementia before she was, like years before she was diagnosed. There's little odds and ends, and working on this piece, she was in the early stages of dementia, so she had missed some things, but I corrected them. This is what we have so far. It's beautiful, and one day I will finish it in honor of my mother. And yeah, so it's a kit, and of course, Evertote bag. What's this one? Little Boat 88. Everybody loves a gnome. This is Little House Needleworks New England Winter Sampler. Again, I picked it up from Stitch It Central, Classic Colorworks, and DMC. I started out bobbinating my DMC, so some of my kits have bobbinated DMC, and I find I don't like it. I prefer floss drops or the floss baggies. DMC, I love that the best. So anyways, called for thread, 30 count, don't know what it is. It just says 30 count and the price. So, and that's kitted up and ready to go someday. I don't know who made this bag. Buckleberry Sampler, Rosewood Manor. I forget where I picked this up. It was in a discount bin, I think. It's kitted up. No idea what this is. And called for DMC. Did I mention I used to bobbinate? I do not bobbinate anymore, but I still have a lot on bobbins. So, oops. Oopsies, there's a baggie here. Oh well, I'll figure this out. I know the bag that this goes with. Oh, this is one of Caroline's Indigenous art bags. And I do believe when you purchase from Evertote one of these bags, proceeds goes to Indigenous communities. This is Modern Folk Embroidery, A Year of Stitching Together, Hope. I love it. And I love this one because, again, it's my heritage. You've got the windmill, the swans. They have their swans in the different canals, the houses, the ships, because the Netherlands was a ship-faring nation because of its proximity to the sea, the spice trade, and the houses that you see in Amsterdam. And the fabric is Roxy Floss Co. Blank Slate, 32 count, excuse the wrinkles. Oh yes, Nebula. Just love Nebula. Alright. I'm going to need to take a month off work and stitch everything. And get a lot of these things started. Oh. Okay, so remember I said I went to the Needlework Festival in Toronto. And this was one of the ones I picked up years ago. And I tried to start stitching, but it was just something I couldn't do. I don't know if I have a picture. This is Lavender and Lace. This was just somebody made me a bag. I laugh that I'm turning into my mother. She had the Celtic ones. I don't have a picture of it, so I can't show you the pattern, but it's the Celtic Christmas. And I started this years ago. Do not ask me what the fabric is. It's 32 count, or it looks like 28 count. No, it's higher. It's 28 count. And I started, it's the lavender and lace Celtic Christmas. And then I have the beads and everything ready to go. Yeah, and so, and then my threads, I think it was Gita's. I got it at Gita's. Oh my goodness. The threads and the beads are in here, ready to go. I just do not have, okay, oh, another dimensions kit. Again, called for threads and fabric. I don't think I've started this Little Boat 88. No, I haven't started this. Butterfly Forest. I love butterflies. Again, pollinators. I'm the gardener. Oh, what's this? Oh, I think this is from Little Boat 88. I do yoga. I practice yoga. I'm a holistic nutritionist, and one of the things I recommend my clients for stress, yes, this one, sorry, is yoga. And I just saw this and it's like, I have to get this project bag. It's the Avlia Ukrainian cross stitch. I just haven't worked on it yet. Because again, proceeds, this was around the time that Russia started the invasion of Ukraine, and I wanted to support. Okay, oh look, we're almost at the end of this. We're getting there. And then I have some bags, not bags, patterns. I can show you some patterns. Little Boat, no, it's not Little Boat 88, somebody else. Modern Folk Embroidery, The Wings of a Dove. I think, yeah, this is Roxy Floss Co. The time was Leo Roxy. Blank Slate, again, I love Blank Slate, 32 count. And the thread will be Mollusk. So that's that. I'm filling up these boxes. Just 1 second. Hold, please. Found one more bag. I don't remember who this is. It was from Etsy. I'm terrible. Oh, Stitch All the Things. Her Flosstube channel. It's another one that I watch. She had picked up the sampler. This is before I knew about Jacob. And I think she didn't start it, and it had been sitting in her stash for a while. Anyways, I ended up getting that from her, and it's Beardy Designs Dutch Sampler Series number 3, and it's Friesland. And I was really excited because it's Fries. And then I think what I ended up doing was some of the called for threads I couldn't find, so I just kind of made it my own little thing. And then I think this is a lamb's wool linen, probably 32, yep, 32 count. So yeah, this is a mixture of DMC, Gentle Arts, Simply Shaker, threads, Color Fast, because I couldn't get all the called for. I seem to remember that. All right, so those are my kitted and WIPS. Next up is, oh, that's where it went. Little fact about me, this is like a physiotherapy ball. So you put it in hot water and boiling water for 10 minutes, and it softens it up. And years ago, back in AccuBall, that's what it is. I injured my hip. So I have an old ankle fracture for my left ankle, and it can cause problems in other areas of the body because it affects how I walk. And for some reason I threw out my right hip, and I couldn't even walking up the stairs. And this was one of the things. I would just put it in the ottoman, and you boil it, and then I would had my yoga mat, and then I would use it to massage the area to get the blood flowing. Okay, this one I do not have fabric for, but I have the thread. It's Roxy Flox Co. chalkboard. I will not open the packet. And this is the Northern Dutch sampler, again, because my roots are from the north of Northern Netherlands, specifically Friesland and Groningen. So I had to get this Nordlander. So that is going in the box. Lots of cross stitch. World of cross stitching. I have a prescription. I have a prescription. Blue flower, sleeping bee. This is supposed to go on 40 count. Again, I'm going to stitch outside my comfort zone. I have not kitted this up yet. I love primitive hair, so the boo tree. I've got to do that one day. What else is in here? Yule goat. I mean, come on. Oops, sorry. Practical Magic, which is one of it's probably my favorite movie. I watch it every year at Halloween. The Wheel of the Year. The Pagan Year of the Wheel. The Pagan Wheel of the Year. Oh, one moment, please. Okay, I'm back. That was pure later. So we're moving, and we redid our kitchen years ago, so we have all built-in appliances, and my husband's favorite is the built-in coffee center. As a holistic nutritionist, I am a foodie. I love to cook, so we got high-end Miele appliances when we redid our kitchen in 2016 and coffee center. And he's really sad being separated from his coffee center. Well, it turns out Miele makes a countertop version, so I ordered it for him a few weeks ago, and I was just pure later dropping it off. It is here. He's excited. Other fun fact, I'm allergic to coffee, so I don't drink it. Love the smell of coffee, but my husband, he loves it because he can make his espressos and just a really nice, fresh European, because he doesn't. My parents used to complain about North American coffee. I don't drink it. I can't judge. And my husband, you know, he got the taste of coffee in Europe and also in Melbourne, Australia, when he traveled for business. And so to get this coffee make center, and he just loves it. And so we had to get him a countertop version for the new house. Anyways, back to some of the patterns that I have in my little stash here. A lot of these are PDFs. Again, primitive hair, the black pearl, the mermaid. I do have a linen somewhere that I've set aside for it. Oh, when the war in Ukraine started, I picked this up in support of one of the Etsy creators. Autumn in the Shire. We are a Tolkien family. When the kids lived at home, our tradition was to watch Lord of the Rings over the holidays. The extended version, because, you know. And so when they were really little, we'd watch movie 1, part 1 one night, movie 1, part 2 the next night. And of course, as they got older, we would take 3 really long nights and watch the movies, and then The Hobbit came out, so that got added to our repertoire of what we want to watch. So anyways, Tiny Modernist Jolly Christmas Bell Pull. Oh, I did do the Jingle Ball last December. So I got the 12 ornaments from the 12 designers of Christmas. Again, life kind of got away from me this year, and then I ordered some patterns. I think this was through, yes, this was through the Jingle Ball that Lindy Stitches and crew did. So I love llamas, so I had to get the blue flower. Sorry, let me hold this up longer. That one. Cozy Christmas cat. So Artemis, both cats are torties. Athena is the muted tortie and long hair, so she's got more Russian blue in her and softer colors. And then Artemis is more of the short hair, traditional dark tortie. So I might try and figure out how to, I don't know, someday. And of course, Tiny Modernist Christmas Snow Globe. That's cute. Tropical Christmas. I'm new at this, so bear with me. Hands-on Designs, Christmas tree. 3. Oh, Christmas 3. I have yet to start one of those. What's this? Oh, By the Bay Needle Art, Nantucket Summer Sampler. I am currently working on the Bay one, the one that's 12 panels in one long. I love it. I'm finished panel 2. A Bothy Threads kit that I picked up on sale at 123 Stitch with cats. I Am the Crazy Cat Lady. I Am No Bird by Jacob. Oh, I love that. What else is there? More World of Cross Stitch. Oh, I forget where I found this. It's French. It's from France. The Tits Fairy. So I just thought it was so cute. Stitchy Box Sampler. I think I got this for free from somewhere. I can't remember where. And it is Sarah Moon 1791. 1791. I like to know who the Sarah Moon was and what was she like. Stitchy Princess, Magical Swamp again. This was during, oh, and I love mushrooms, so I got Mushroom Meadow from Stitchy Princess. The PDF. This is all like, yeah. This is a Lunar Moth. I think I got this off the freebie table at Stitch North. Amelia Bemrose, 1805 by Mary Wynn Farm. And then I had to get the companion piece, which I found, I think, on 123 Stitch. Mary Clay. More cross stitch magazines. That's what I'm just saying. You don't need to see every single cross stitch magazine I have. You really don't. I have patterns. I will not show every single one because we will be here to the end of time. Tiny Modernist. Moth and the Moon. Seasonal bell jars. Oh yes, this is from Jeanette Douglas, Dutch pin cushions. I'm Dutch. Again, that's going to be my foray into 40 count after I move. Everything is after I move, after I move, after I move. Little House Needleworks, the inn at Fox River Mill. I just love these samplers. I got this, I don't remember, Halloween in black from Twin Peak Primitives, and it has to do with the Salem witch trials. Bridget Bishop. Years ago, I had to go to Salem. That was just something I had to do. When we were on vacation, I think it was 2011, we did DC, up the East Boston, and we did a stop at Salem and paid homage to those who died in the witch trials at the burying ground there. So the whole story, the history of it all And to find out that later on, one of the girls admitted they made it all up. So all these people died because some teenage girls were bored and made up stories about people. And with the very strong religious environment that was in Salem at that time, and it was the burning, like it was pretty traumatic, but it's just something that is near and dear to my heart. And how there's still witch hunts, except now it's the LGBT community, etc., trans. And some things never change, just a different flavor. There's my political statement. Scattered kindness and love, see? Shepherd's bush. Something we all need to learn. Brenda Gervais, keeper of the pins. I want to do a pin cushion bowl. I think that's what it was. Oh, this is rather appropriate, considering we are moving to a house across the street from the beach. Twin Peak primitives. Life is good at the beach. We've always wanted to be by water. It's just something that draws us. Like, we just need to be by water. We have a pool now. But yeah, I'm excited to be living across the street from the beach and going to see the sunsets. End of October might be a little chilly, but still. Red Bird Sampler by Brenda Gervais. I love red. Here, let me hold this up again, sorry. Please be patient with me. I am new at this. Blackbird Designs, Winds of Autumn, a lot of little smalls. Someday, someday, someday. Oh, Modern Folk Embroidery, a Dutch sampler. It's very colorful. I don't think he uses Roxy thread. No. DMC. I will kit this one day. Again, the Dutch Bird sampler. What else is there? Oh, I don't know where I got this from, but it's a llama. It was Etsy. Oops, sorry. Llama. Plum Street Samplers, another one of my favorite designers, Paulette Stewart. A Colonial Garden. Oh man. Drawn Thread. The Prairie Garden. I love gardens. Oh, Lizzie and Kate. This was a Christmas sampler in 3 charming parts. I won't show you each and every single one, but this is what it's supposed to look like when it's done. I got it when Stitch Essential, sorry, my legs fell asleep again. Babushka's Beads, Plum Street Sampler. Oh my God. See, it gets buried in my ottoman and I forget I have these. And I'm losing sunlight. Christmas Eve, Prairie School. So, that. We're getting there, we're almost done. Ooh La La, samples and projects with a French flair. I'm not French, but my husband has French in him. And I just love some of the French country look. Blackbird Designs, of course. And then Sewing Club by Blackbird Designs. Here, I should hold it up longer, shouldn't I? There we go. And then, what is in here? Oh. So, as you know, as I mentioned, I was driving to visit my mom when she was in hospital in London. I stopped by Stitch at Central, but when they were still in Ingersoll, before they moved to London, which is where they are now, and discovered Blackbird Designs. The pattern that I've started is somewhere. I have other patterns somewhere else in the house. This is just my ottoman that I have close at hand. And it was the Loose Feathers, I Abecedarian series. I am not a linguist, and I fell in love with looking at the series. So it took me a bit, but I got every single one of the patterns that are in this series. 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have all 12. I don't know which one I'm working on, but so there's one. I love the bird. This one's 2. Again, it's these reproduction samplers and the history, and like, again, Hands Across the Sea, she gives you insight into who that person was when she can of that sampler. So that's what I love, who they are. This is number 3. Oh, I'm working on number 4, so you won't see that here. So this is number 5. My plan is, now that I'm going to have a new house with lots of bigger walls, maybe I can get my button gear. Number 6. Oops. Seven. 8. 9. 10. 11. I love the fruit basket and the vines. That's 11. And then number 12 is this one. Again, I'm sorry about the glare. And then they show you, again, I hope I get this all in, how they're all set up. So I have grand plans. I just need to get my button gear and do that. That's it for this bin, this ottoman, my tickle trunk. If you watched, if you're Canadian and you're of that age, Mr. Dress Up, tickle trunk. Yeah, this tickle trunk, Mr. Dress Up. So I call this my tickle trunk. Okay, so that's it for this ottoman, other than cross stitch magazines, just the world of cross stitch, which I'm not going to bore you with. Yep, that's all there is left in here. I'm going to finish packaging these up. One more thing, I remember I said my mom did some cross stitch, and I do have something that her and an aunt that was actually here in Canada. So my mom had a brother and his wife who came over to Canada. So my mom was one of 5, and my mom and her brother were the only 2 of the 5 kids that immigrated here to Canada. And my mom and my aunt, my uncle's wife, did this. It's a bell pull. It's long. I might have to do a scroll up and over. It looks like, one second please. It looks like it's 32 2/2 linen. I think this was just a silky remnant left around, and it is different special houses in specific cities in the province of Friesland in the Netherlands. I currently have it hanging on my wall over there. It has a pride of place. So there's the coat of arms. And so there's the Fries language. Kind of gives you an idea. And it is different towns. There's I remember my mom talking about Dokkum. She had family in Dokkum. Hopefully Hans. Give me a second here. This is getting awkward. It's long. Of course, canals, because the Netherlands is below sea level. We're known for our dikes and canals. My maiden name was Sloterdijk, which means ditch dike. And there is a town south of Amsterdam by the airport called Sloterdijk. But a lot of the Sloterdijks came from some fishing village in northwestern Friesland. And then, oops, there's a church. A lot of the churches look like that. Canals and bridges. And then this, it looks like there's somebody in the tower overlooking the sea. So this is probably someplace over the sea. I think one of the trips to the Netherlands to visit family when I was 16, I think we went to this place. Because I remember it was by the North Sea, and what was wonderful, this was the 80s, it was my 16th birthday. And it was by the North Sea, and it was cold because it's the North Sea, wet and windy, but it was some of the best fish I ever had. So basically the fishermen would go out in the morning, bring their catch back, and they had booths along the wharf where the wives would cook the fish and serve it, and while the husbands went back out to get more fish in the North Sea. And that was some of the best fish I've ever had. And someday I will go back to the Netherlands and explore a bit more of the area of where my parents came from, etc. That's someday. And for now, that's it. Thank you for watching. This says it's been 20 minutes, part 2. Part 1, I think, was almost an hour, so that's an hour and a half. I hope you had a good cup of tea with it and some stitching. Please feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. And I can't guarantee my schedule at this point in time. Even weekly, before all this, was not something I could foresee myself doing. It might be more once a month. Now, especially with the move, I might do something because Jacobpalooza is just over a month away, because it's the weekend too, which is after Canadian Thanksgiving. But then we're moving. I'll see what I do. I do have some haul that I came in for some stuff I wanted. I was missing some threads and fabric for some projects I was putting together. I might do a video of that at some point, but not soon. I'm gonna finish putting these in their boxes and sealing up the boxes and add it to the pile of boxes. My life is gonna be about boxes and more boxes for the next few weeks. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day and keep smiling. I find when you smile, everybody else smiles with you. Take care.